What's going on, guys? Andrew Piluk Hockey here, back with another video, and today we're going to be talking about the Toronto Maple Leafs 3-2 victory over the Winnipeg Jets. Now, this game was pretty wild. I did not expect the Toronto Maple Leafs to win this one. It looked like Winnipeg was going to win it. They were up pretty much the entire game. The Leafs stormed back. We'll get into all of it. Of course, we'll talk about Austin Matthews as well. And back-to-back victories against the Jets for the Leafs, and that's huge because the Winnipeg Jets are Stanley Cup contenders for sure, and they've got a team full of all-stars, to keep it quite frank. So let's get right into this. Like I said, 3-2 victory for the Leafs. We'll get into the goalie statistics first. So it was Connor Hellebuyck in net for the Jets versus Frederik Andersen, of course, for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Both team starters were in goal tonight. There was 31 shots against towards Connor Hellebuyck. 3 went in, of course, and he had 28 saves on the night. Frederik Andersen had 24 shots against, 2 goals against, and obviously had 22 saves. So not a ton of shots on Frederik Andersen tonight. That's a pretty good number if you're a goaltender. That's a pretty solid number if your team keeps it below 30 shots or even 25. I guess Connor Hellebuyck was just over that 30 marker, but if you can keep it under 25, you're looking pretty good. So let's get right into it. At first, it looked like the Leafs were dominating in the first period. Like, I wouldn't say like a full-on dominations. At one point, the shots were tied up at like 5-5, and the Leafs had a couple really good shifts. And there was one shift in particular where the Matthews line had basically had the Winnipeg Jets hemmed in their zone for the longest time until a puck was deflected by Hellebuyck, I believe, into the netting. And the crowd was going crazy. It was just a wild shift. They had a lot of shots, and they were looking pretty good. But then Winnipeg started to take over from the first going into the second. Kyle Connor scored his 6th of the year on a power play. Nazem Kadri drilled Trouba into the boards. It wasn't as bad as, like, it didn't cause like a line brawl or anything. He hit him, and I think Kadri knew right away that it wasn't the smartest play, so he tried to brace the impact, and it didn't look like Trouba's a big guy. He barely, touched the boards. Like, he got hit, but like I said, Drew was a big guy. He definitely didn't need to fall like that. I mean, it kind of looked like he might have overdone it a little bit. He got up and punched Kadri in the face, and I thought maybe it would turn into a penalty for each side. But regardless, you shouldn't hit a guy when the numbers are turned, and it turned into Kyle Connor's 6th of the season on the power play. Winnipeg got away with some calls in this game regarding some kind of roughing penalties, but Winnipeg kind of plays that rougher style, which again I'm not against. I like the rough back and forth, but the way refs have been calling it early this season from games I've watched too, they got away with some stuff. But again, so did the Leafs probably in other games, and even tonight they probably got away with a few calls. Both teams did. Going into the second period, again, this was more domination by Winnipeg. They were just, and it wasn't even that they were getting a ton of shots. It was just puck control. They definitely were making the Leafs look a little silly physically as well. They were throwing a lot of hits. If it does show, I'm not sure if it shows in here how many hits. There is no stat for that on the app that I'm using. Oh, yes, there is. Yeah, they threw 27 hits and the Leafs threw 20. So 7 more, but I think a lot of Winnipeg's hits came in the second period when they were pretty much dominating the play. Scheifele scored his 6th of the season as well on a breakaway. Freddie Andersen kind of buckled to one side, thinking that he was going to shoot possibly towards the other side or more towards where he was trying to position himself. But Scheifele is a world-class athlete, world-class scorer, and he buried his 6th of the season. And, of course, a lot of people are going to be wondering about Austin Matthews. First of all, the hit that Trouba laid, even though if you watch the replay, it kind of looks like they might have bumped heads a little bit, it was on the shoulder, and the impact kind of made them both bounce into each other. It obviously, to what we've heard, it's a shoulder injury for Austin Matthews. It doesn't look like it's anything to do with his head. We're going to knock on wood, hopefully, that he will get better very soon, but it's looking like he will miss practice on Sunday and will not play against the Calgary Flames on Monday, according to Mike Babcock. So that's not a good sign. Hopefully he's just resting, and maybe it's a week off. That's the best case scenario. He's had this injury before multiple times in junior, and he's had this, of course, last season where he missed 10 games. So Hopefully Austin Matthews will get better soon, but he will be out of practice on Sunday and won't play against the Flames on Monday. So we'll have to keep an eye out on that. And of course the Nylander stuff, that's still going on, but we got to keep an eye on Austin Matthews. Hopefully he gets better. Anyways, going into the third period, this was when the Leafs started to play a little bit better. And I keep saying, and I've said this in videos previously, when Nazem Kadri is on his best game and he's throwing hits and, you know, playing a little bit chippier and not dirtier, but when he's playing a little bit more physical and getting into play, the team gets going. And Nazem Kadri scored his second of the season 6 minutes into the period. Just a nice goal from him. It's really nice to see Kadri starting to score here. Back-to-back games. Very, very impressed with Nazem Kadri right now. And he was going by the bench. He said some words I can't say because, you know, I'm trying to stay monetized on here, let's be real, and it's not PG. You know, he was saying, you know, let's go, boys, and he added a couple other words in there, but you guys probably seen it if you watched the game. And that's what they did. The Leafs started going, and Jake Gardiner, a guy that not a lot of people like, but I happen to like, with basically just over 3 minutes left in the game, scored to tie the game, a nice wrist shot top corner in his 500th NHL game, so that was a nice treat. Tyler Ennis also was playing in his 500th game tonight, so man, congrats to both of them on a great career so far. And again, we're going to knock on wood to make sure that they stay healthy and play as well as they did tonight. Yeah, the defensemen didn't look too bad tonight either. I just wanted to throw that out there. Keeping, again, like I said, keeping limited shots, especially against a team like Winnipeg. You got to, if you're the goaltender, thank your defenseman for at least keeping some shots away from the net and blocking them. Even Matthews got a couple blocks there. But anyways, tied 2-2, and everybody was kind of waiting around to see, you know, was this going to go to overtime? Boom, like 26 seconds, I think it was. Kasperi Kapanen rips one into like basically the tiniest spot in past the head in the post of Connor Hellebuck. It was just perfectly placed right over the shoulder. Like I said, just right here. If the post was there, it was right there. Perfect shot. And that is his 6th of the season already. By the way, the assists on all the goals. The Kadri goal was assisted by Marner and Hainsey. The second goal was by Gardiner, was assisted by Mitch Marner, and the third goal was assisted by Tavares and Zach Hyman. So Kapanen getting his 6th of the year. Nylander's probably pretty happy for his friend, but he probably wants to get back in there as well. So it put the Leafs up 3-2. They locked it down at the end, and the Leafs won 3-2 against the Winnipeg Jets. Now, like I said, they do play again on Monday against the Calgary Flames. That's an important game in my eyes. Calgary is a good team. The Leafs are now 8-3-0 if I'm correct. And let's make it 9-3-0. Hopefully the boys can get it done on Monday. Hopefully we'll have more on Matthews of the time frame that he'll be out. I know the Leafs are pretty secretive when it comes to stuff like that. And again, we're going to knock on wood because we want Matthews to come back ASAP. Shout out to ASAP Hockey. I caught myself there. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. Love to have more hockey conversations with you. Join the squad. Let's get to 4,000 subscribers. I'll see you guys in the next video or stream. Go Leafs go. Peace.